So all right, 10th graders, the last time we were together, we worked on the bottom of the case, and we added it to the final assembly here. Now we're going to work on the top of the case, and we're going to add that to the assembly too. So I'm going to create a new part. I'm going to go ahead and create a new document. I'm going to call it top case, or case top. And I'm going to do basically the same thing I did before. I'm going to go to the top of the plane and measure the size of this case. This is a lot easier to do now that I have the bottom of my case built, because I'm literally just going to measure the sides of my case. The bottom of the case from side to side can be clicked on here, and I can see that's 320.16. I'm going to go ahead and sketch on the top plane. I'm going to make a rectangle, and I'm going to copy the dimensions. So again, 320.16, 320.16. Then I need to know the length on the other side, so I'll check that length. That one is 77.72. I'll type that in, and I've got the bottom, I've got the base of mine. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude it. I'm going to extrude it 3 millimeters, because this is going to be the top of my case. Now I'm going to go to the bottom, because remember, this is the top part, so it needs to extend down. I know that the walls of my millimeter, or the walls of my case are going to be 3 millimeters from each side. So I'm just going to go 3 millimeters out like this, 3 millimeters down like this, 3 in, 3 in. And now I can make the rest of the board by just using the corner-to-corner rectangle tool. And then I'll make the outside of it by going from the other 2 dots like this. I'm going to extrude this out, and this is where it gets tricky. So now I have to determine the height of my board. I think for the height, I just want to go from, I think what I'm going to do is go from the base of this board, or the base of the baseboard, so that's like right here. Hang on, that's this surface. And I'm going to go to the highest part of the LCD screen, and I'm just going to raise it by 1 or 2 millimeters to have some tolerance. So in this case, it's moving in the z-axis. That's negative 9.875. That's actually perfect, so I'm going to just go with 10 millimeters. Okay, so there's the top of my case. It looks okay so far. The main thing I needed to do now is I need to make sure that it actually fits. So I'm going to go ahead and insert it into my assembly and start editing it the same way I did with the last one. So I'm going to click Insert, Other Documents, Recently Opened, get the case top, make sure I create a version. Again, the name doesn't matter. Then I'm just going to insert it. Okay, so far so good. So it looks like it's almost in the right size and the right space, but there's obviously a few things I have to change about it. In particular, I won't be able to hear the buzzer if this is contained, so I'm probably going to want to make sure that however I place this, I can see the buzzer. So here's what I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that these are attached correctly. So I'm going to use a fasten mate constraint, and I'm going to say that this corner has to always be touching this corner on the side here. So make sure I can click that corner on top. There we go, and it's contained. Okay, so right now, this case is working as intended. It fits over the top, but I need to make sure I can still see inside to determine where things have to get cut. To do that, I'm going to use the section view. So I'm going to click on this cube here, and I'm going to go ahead and find something called section view. It's here at the bottom. I'll click on the top of the case, and it will make this little arrow. And I'm going to drag the arrow down just a little bit so I can see inside my cube. I can start to see the bottom, so I'm going to go negative 3.1. Negative 3.1. There we go. Now I can see the entire thing, and I'm not shaving anything off of the LCD screen. And that's because our thing was 3 millimeters to start. So even if I went 3.01, I would see the same thing more or less. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So right away, the first thing I probably want to do is I want to make sure that this sensor isn't blocked. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have the same measurements as before and just cut out a section around the sensor, probably like between the two, and just cut out a hole like this. So there's a rectangle missing. So I want to know where to start this rectangle and where to end this rectangle. I'm going to start it probably at this point. So I want to know how far this point is from the corner. So I'll go to the corner here. Okay, so this is 86, am I getting that right? In the X direction, 86.34. So in my part, I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to sketch on top, make a line, and I want to go 86.34. So that's the far corner of my triangle. Now I want to know where the other side of it's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I got that down. So that is from, I think I can stop probably right at this row and just come down from there. So I'll be on the other side of it. So I want to know how far this row is from this face. That's in the y-axis. So in the y-axis, it's 30.54. Okay. So this line is going to go 30.54. Okay, now I need to find out where the right side of this cut is going to be. So for that one, I think I'm going to do the same thing as before. I'm just going to go a little bit to the right so it has a clean look to it. The edge of the sensor to the edge of the wall here. In the x-axis, that's 37.075. So I'm just going to say like 36 millimeters. So that way there will be just a little bit of room. Okay, now I'm going to use my rectangle tool. Oh, you know what I did wrong? It's supposed to be 36 millimeters from the wall. So let me just keep it parallel like this, and then go this way and go 36 millimeters from the wall. There we go. Now I can use my corner to corner rectangle tool and go from here to here. And I'll go ahead and extrude this. And I'm just going to remove everything in here. Create a new version. And let's take a look at how it turned out. So I'll go down to the bottom. I'll click on it like I usually do. Let me make sure I'm not selecting anything else by clicking somewhere where there's nothing on the screen. Update all, and this section should vanish. Nice. So that section's gone. So now my sensor is unimpeded. So it can actually like see whatever it has to see in front of it, which is perfect because that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so now I need to make sure that there's a section missing from the top here so I can see the LCD screen. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a box from the center of each of these circles. And I'm going to cut down through the top of the case so you can read the screen. So to do that, I need to find out where they are relative to the side. So I'm going to start with this one. So from this side to this side, from this side to this circle. Okay, so now I need to know the x distance. So the x distance is 87.34. So back to the top, draw a line, make it a construction one. 87.34. Ooh, that's a little too close to this one right here. So I think I'm going to move it over a little more. I'm going to change that. 91.49. Okay, good. That leaves me a little more room to see what's going on. So 91.49. Now I need to know how far it is from the side. So that would be from here to this wall. So I can cut this hole to see my LCD screen. That is 3.5. So I'll go ahead and draw a line like this and draw it like this and say 3.5. So I want this line to be touching this dot. So I use this thing called the coincident constraint, which says this dot has to touch this dot. And now we'll snap in place. Now I just need to know the size of the actual screen itself. So I can do that by selecting this corner and going to the opposite corner. Okay, so this is 69.3 by 26.8. So I'm going to make that rectangle as a cut and just see what I get. This way, 69.3, 26.8. I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. I'm going to make it a remove so I can cut a hole in the top. I'll make a new version, create. I'll go to the bottom like I have before. And then I'll go ahead and update this, update all. And then let's take a quick second to see how it's going without the section view. So I'll zoom out, I'll look at the top, I'll click on the camera toggles and click turn section view off. Okay, so I can see that my cut is off by just a little bit. It looks like it needs to move more down and to the left. So I can do that by just cutting it this way. So let me see if I can select the corner from here. It would be hard, but I think I can do it. Yep, here's the corner, and here's the wall. So how far off am I in my sketch? It's 11.67 millimeters. So I'm going to make it an even, let's say like 12, so it goes out this way. And then I'm going to have to go down some too. So 12 to the left, 3 down. So 12 to the left and probably like 5 down, it looks like. So let me just edit it. So to go 12 to the left would be 71.3. And to go 3 down is going to be 29. 69 is too big. 0.8. Okay, I'm going to confirm that. Create a new version like before. Go back to the assembly. Update it. There we go. And now if I look at it from the top, well, the screen's still not far enough. That's really strange. I got to make sure this screen goes farther out. So let's test it one more time. And I'm really wanting to show you guys all the steps I have to take because I understand these are hard steps to take if you're not sure what to do. And having you watch me work through them makes it easier for you guys to work through them, I feel like. All right, it's really hard to see, so I'm going to have to use the section view. So let me go ahead and switch to section view. Oh, Oh, I don't want to do that. My last section view was totally fine. There we go. Confirm that. Okay, let's check the length again. So the length of basically from, let's just move it over to these wires here. That might be easier. Let's say the length from here, and let's just go all the way to their side of the board so I know roughly how long it is. This one is 71.373. In my sketch, it's off by about a millimeter. I'm just going to go to 73 to be safe. Let it do that. So confirm that. Create a new version. And then I'm going to update my sketch and make sure I turn off my section view so I can see it. Top. All right, there we go. Now I can see the whole of my screen. It's not a perfect cut, but I think it's actually good enough that I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. So that one's done.